live Saturday here on ABC.
Good evening, I'm Chris Canango.
And I'm Wendy Lubavitch, and tonight for Angela Astor. Straight ahead on Eyewitness News, an afternoon bicycle ride for a woman and infant turns deadly. Details of this tragic story.
Weather may have been a factor in this fatal plane crash near Brainerd.
Plus, Dave Dahl will tell us if the wind and rain we saw this afternoon will make a repeat performance tonight.
And, of course, the very latest on murder charges against football legend O.J. Simpson.
The news is next. Stay with us.
Just announced a special lease bonus on America's best-selling truck. For a very limited time, get a $500 lease bonus on the Ford F-Series pickup. Pay just $239 a month for 24 months with 10% down. Just $239 a month for all this. A driver's airbag, rear anti-lock brakes, air, power windows and locks, and much more. Just $239 a month for 24 months with a special $500 factory lease bonus. Hurry, this is a very limited time offer. Read all about it at your Northland Ford dealer.
This is KSTP Channel 5, St. Paul, Minneapolis. Live from your 24-hour news channel. This is Eyewitness News at 6.
And good evening, everyone. Our top story tonight, a woman riding her bicycle is struck and killed by a semi-truck.
What makes this exceptionally tragic is that she was pulling an infant child in a carrier behind her. It happened around 1 this afternoon at 24th and Hiawatha in Minneapolis. For more on this very sad story, let's now go to reporter Ross Kurgis at the scene of the accident.
Wendy, this is a very busy intersection here, a place where it can be difficult to spot a person on a bike. That's apparently what happened to a truck driver today, who apparently struck and killed a woman who was riding a bike. That woman happened to be with a small 6-month-old child.
The 43-year-old woman was riding alongside the semi and may have been in a blind spot as the truck driver tried to make a right-hand turn. The bike she was riding was towing a small child trailer, and a 6-month-old child was inside. Witnesses say the truck driver turned right into the woman. She was pronounced dead at the scene, but the small child somehow survived without even getting injured. The trailer was intact. There were flowers inside. Bike equipment specialist Howard Kloskin says it's possible the child trailer may have saved the baby's life.
If the bike falls down, the trailer will remain level, no matter what, basically. Even if the trailer did happen to tip over, it's got a roll bar built in up here.
While most of these trailers come with visibility flags, this trailer did not have one. The truck was advertised as being from Kujak Transport of Winona. An investigator spent time checking the truck's mirrors to see if they were positioned correctly to spot a bike rider, a rider the truck driver apparently just never saw.
The woman's name has not been released, nor have they given us the relationship between the woman and the small child. We do not know if the woman was her mother. And the truck driver has been taken into custody in this case, which is routine in these types of cases. No word on possible charges. Wendy?
Ross, from those pictures we could see, it looked like there was a lot of water in the street. Did the weather play a role in all this?
Well, the witnesses said, as we all know, there was a steady downpour today, and there was heavy rain at the time of this accident, but there's no word yet officially on whether the rain was heavy enough to obstruct his visibility.
Very sad story. Thank you, Ross.
Speculation also on weather may have been a factor in a fatal plane crash in central Minnesota. It was drizzling when the single-engine plane went down while trying to land at the Brainerd Airport. 2 people died, 2 seriously injured. The plane crashed into trees about a mile and a half southeast of the airport. The flight originated in Lincoln, Nebraska. The names of the victims are not being released. The same weather system that may have contributed to the Brainerd plane crash also moved through the Twin Cities, and it started early this afternoon with some incredibly strong winds. Folks dining outside at this Minneapolis restaurant ran for cover when table umbrellas started flying. Then came the rains. Rain so heavy windshield wipers barely did any good. Now the question is the worst over for us? For the answer, let's go to Dave Dahl in Storm Center 5. Dave?
Well, Chris, I think you're right by saying it is. Probably the worst is probably over for us here in the Twin Cities. Not true for the southern part of the state as well as southwestern Wisconsin. And the National Weather Service out Minneapolis office has just issued urban stream flood advisory for Pepin County, eastern parts of Pepin, and southwestern Eau Claire County. Just to the east of Durand, very heavy rainfall now for the last hour to hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours. It's caused some flooding there. They're going to have basement flooding, washouts. Some of the roads are all possible. So please watch out if you're in that area and head to higher ground. Also, some very strong storms to our south. I'll zoom in on it. And for much of Steele and now Dodge County, they are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And this is out for another 40 minutes or so. and that is due to strong winds that have gusted as high as 60 to 65 miles per hour, causing some damage, some trees down in some spots, and also very heavy thunderstorms extending down to the south of Mankato. This is that same system that's been pushing very steadily very slowly through the central part of the state over the last couple of days. That is continuing to roll on to the south and southeast. It is in very unstable air. For that reason, there are a couple of watches out. Severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock for much of southwestern Minnesota and the south central part of our state, and until 7 o'clock, including the Twin Cities. But we saw that first line of storms that kicked out a lot of the energy in the atmosphere, but still some strong storms just to our south and, of course, over in west central Wisconsin. So quite active weather, especially to our south tonight, but we could get some of that returning in our direction this weekend, and I'll tell you about that with our forecast coming up in just a couple of minutes. Chris?
We'll look forward to that, Dave. Thank you.
In southern Minnesota, attempts to rescue a 15-year-old boy from a pond failed. Travis Beefley and 3 friends were fishing in an Albert Lee pond yesterday afternoon. The boy apparently was trying to cast a line when he fell into a drop-off. Right now, it appears Beefley's friends were able to reach him for a brief moment, but let him go when he said he was all right. That's when the boy went under. In Lancaster, Wisconsin, a father stands accused in the drowning death of his 22-month-old son. A police report says 33-year-old Barry Labarge carried the child to chest-high water in the Mississippi River Wednesday, then dropped the child and left him there. Labarge told investigators that he felt it was the right thing to do, and he would do the same thing to another son if he had one. He is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and is being held without bond.
A Minnesota worker for the Minnesota Valley National Wildlife Refuge had a narrow escape this morning. Dennis Lean was helping unplug a culvert in Savage this morning when the water nearly swept him to his death. Jason Davis has the story.
Before the accident, the water level in this drainage creek was a lot higher. Beaver had dammed up the control culvert, and maintenance workers from the Minnesota Valley National Wildlife Refuge arrived this morning to unplug it. Disaster struck when the sudden rush of water caught worker Dennis Lean by surprise.
Dennis got sucked under here. He had waders on and the water filled in here and it sucked him in a tube. It sucked him in that tube.
And where were you when it happened?
I was right there with him.
Joey Fiddler ran to call 911 while Dennis Lean hung on for his life. Rescue workers soon pulled him loose and the shocked and wounded worker was placed in an ambulance.
When it broke loose, went through the pipe, the pressure pulled my leg down into it, my waders. I wasn't able to get them all the way off, so I was stuck there.
Dennis Lean, who was suffering from shock and a wound in his leg, was taken to Fairview Ridges Hospital in Burnsville. Jason Davis, Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Savage.
Lean is staying in the hospital tonight while doctors clean up the wound on his leg. He is expected to be able to return home tomorrow. One lucky guy. Minnesota politics making national headlines tonight.
That's right. The reason, for the first time in some 30 years, it appears an incumbent governor will not win his party's endorsement in a re-election bid. The IRI convention is going on right now in St. Paul at the Civic Center. Let's go live now to political reporter Carrie Miller, who has the details. I understand some action there, huh, Carrie?
Wendy, just a few seconds ago, they announced that Alan Quist has been endorsed by the IR delegates here. We're going to pan over here and show you a little bit of a reaction. Obviously, the crowd very delighted that Alan Quist has become the endorsed candidate for the IR party for the gubernatorial race. That means that these delegates are turning their back on an incumbent governor, Governor Arne Carlson, and that's why this race has attracted the eye of the national media.
No one finds the politicking, the posturing, the pure shenanigans at this year's IR state convention more interesting than the national media, who have descended en masse on St. Paul. Armed with long sound booms, dozens of microphones, and the latest technology, crews scurry around the convention floor, scoring interviews with candidates, delegates, and political observers. Steve Daly, a national political reporter for the Chicago Tribune, arrived to find no phone lines, but a good story.
The fact is, when you kick out your governor, for whatever reason, sure, it's democracy at work, but it's a pretty good story.
The Washington Post thought so, too. This national political reporter who declined an interview says it's one of the most interesting races in the country. Bruce Morton agrees, but thinks the national media's perception that this is new is wrong.
I think what's different about Minnesota is that this isn't new. I mean, these are new people. I understand there are a lot of Quist delegates who were never delegates before, but the themes are not new.
It
zero.
Alan Quist is at the podium right now. We're going to listen in on what he has to say to this group of very enthusiastic delegates. Let's take that shot.
As you know, my wife Julie and I are a team in everything that we do, and it is also an honor for me to have the most important person in my life next to me in accepting your endorsement. Thank you. Thank you.
That's Alan Quist thanking this crowd of very enthusiastic delegates for endorsing him. We'll have more coverage on this tonight at 10. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Terry. Terry Miller coming to us live from St. Paul.
Still much more to come for you here tonight on Eyewitness News at 6.
We'll have details of a legal settlement between the city of St. Paul and black firefighters.
Let's find out how these homemade signs could land a Minneapolis store owner in jail.
And in sports, a warrant for O.J. Simpson arrest. The charge, murder. The news continues for Mahomet High, Falcon Heights, Eden Prairie, and the rest of the Twin Cities area.
What do you expect when you're driving a GMC Suburban? It's the largest vehicle in its class, which can make other drivers much more friendly. See for yourself. Now you can have it in a GMC truck conversion van. They're tastefully decorated, come with appliances, and they're built on a strong foundation. Check them out.
Star bright, first star I see tonight. I wish I might have it. I wish tonight.
At Circuit City, we have guaranteed unbeatable prices on VCRs, stereos, computers, CD players, refrigerators, camcorders, car stereos, washers, dryers, ranges, CDs, receivers, answering machines, microwaves, cellular phones, speakers, vacuum cleaners, fax machines, and printers. But right now, you're probably more interested in one of our big screen TVs.
Circuit City. If you didn't buy it here, you paid too much for it.
This summer, the best thrillers aren't at the movies. Read Impulse, Black Market, and Striptease.
Time, it seems, has a short attention span. Your shoes wear out before you've broken them in. Your favorite restaurant changes themes as soon as you learn to like sushi. But the new Jetta, like all 94 Volkswagen cars, has the longest limited powertrain warranty of any car maker. You can count on it for 10 years. And as you probably noticed, a lot can happen in 10 years.
Through July 5th, get air conditioning at no charge when you take delivery of a new Jetta GL.
It has taken 2 years, but the city of St. Paul and nearly a dozen firefighters have finally reached a settlement.
The case involves alleged discrimination. Lorraine Rowe joins us from St. Paul City Hall with the details of this story. Lorraine?
Well, Wendy, the city of St. Paul settled with these firefighters for $690,000. Those 11 firefighters met here at City Hall just moments ago. They are very pleased with this settlement, and Norm Coleman says that what went on in the fire department between 1975 and 1991 will not be tolerated.
Another instance in which one of the plaintiffs here received a package with a white hood and KKK written on it. We had circumstances involving a deceased training officer who had a habit of using racial slurs.
This is an opportunity for us as now to live as one and try to live happily as one.
And even though this is a rather large settlement, city officials say it's probably the better outcome that what could have happened if this had gone to trial. The firefighters will receive $40,000 apiece, and their legal fees are also covered in this settlement. Wendy?
Lorraine, does this settlement affect future plans for the department?
It does indeed. The fire department will offer diversity training. They are also going to open up 100 positions, and they say there will be a very diverse group of people being hired.
All right. Thank you, Lorraine.
Another legal battle, this one between the city of Minneapolis and the owners of an adult book and video shop. The issue, these neon signs at Sex World in downtown Minneapolis. They violate a city ordinance that prohibits symbols of this nature in windows. But Sex World's manager, who did not want to be identified, says the signs are staying.
They look very nice. Our customers say that our store looks very nice. It's a pleasant place to walk into. If you have, the more you have to show, and the more quality you show, the better quality business you are. And that's what we're striving for, and that is exactly what we are.
An arraignment in city court is set for Monday afternoon. There are new signs of life tonight at a once popular Minneapolis entertainment complex. You recall financial troubles forced Mississippi Live to shut down in February. But tonight, River Rats Landing officially opens its doors at the former nightclub complex. Workers today were busily preparing for tonight's opening. The new club will have food and bar service and will offer 3 musical venues, including a dueling piano act. River Rats Landing opens at 7 o'clock.
Nolan Mall in St. Louis Park is about to get a boost. The mall today announced plans to build a new Kohl's department store. It will be built where the now closed Carson Perry Scott building stands. The Carson's building will be demolished to make way for the new store. Wisconsin-based Kohl's already has 7 stores in the Twin Cities area. The Knollwood Kohl's will open sometime next summer.
Up next, Dave Dahl will join us with a complete look at the severe weather that's still moving through parts of Minnesota. As you can see from this live tower cam picture, things are quite calm in our area, but Dave says that could be changing.
And in sports, murder charges against O.J. Simpson and the possibility of the death sentence. The news continues for St. Paul, Minneapolis, Eagan, and the Twin Cities area.
We're bright blue skies and deep blue water. We're a stroll on the boardwalk and a warm summer breeze. And we give you the color blue like nowhere else in the world.
Karen Yeager's a First Bank customer, not just because she can transfer funds by phone through Fastline, or use her Checkster card instead of writing checks, or get an account summary from the Fast Bank ATM machine. Karen's a loyal customer because only First Bank puts so many ways of handling the family's money right at her fingertips.
How do you catch the bride's bouquet?
A fast shutter speed and small aperture.
Where should the mother-in-law stand?
Wherever she wants.
How can business voice messaging from US West help you?
I don't know.
You can't be an expert on everything. Business voice messaging answers your phone when it's busy or you're away. It can even notify you by pager when you're out of the office. After all, you know photography.
My favorite shots are the ones that no one knows I'm taking.
And we know phones. The small business group at US West.
Looking for a little friendly competition? Compare the American-made Mazda B2300 with a Toyota Standard. Mazda's got what it takes to give you a great ride. It has 14,000 miles more basic warranty coverage, and it costs almost $1,000 less than Toyota. Want even more value? Lease a B2300 now for just $149 a month. We make the exceptional affordable. Mazda. It just feels right.
Amazing to me sometimes to see how much rain can fall in how short a time. It was as if a curtain had been drawn all of a sudden. Bam, and you couldn't even see across the street.
Visibility was very poor. Sometimes I think some of the highway patrol people said it was down to 20 feet.
Yeah, it was,
because of that heavy rain.
It was dramatic.
And we've got some video go right along with that very heavy rainfall, because we have photographers all over the Twin Cities today. We happened to catch a lot of this rain activity and just how heavy it was. But officially right now, as we look at downtown Minneapolis via tower cam, you can see some more scattered thunderstorms building to our west. They're building quite rapidly right now across the western part of Hennepin County. 80 for our temp. Our dew point's at 70. Very high relative humidity at 72%. South wind now at 12 miles per hour. And the barometric pressure is steady at 30.04. Today's high temperature did make it up to 86, not only before the thunderstorms, but also we popped up again after that thunderstorm line moved through. 69 this morning's low. And officially out at the airport, over a half an inch of rain. And as Chris said, it came down in a hurry, 65/100ths of an inch in about a half an hour's time. Sunset is at 9 o'clock. Now look at this. This is that heavy rain that we had. Turned it in tonight, but look at what happens when all that water hits the sewer system, yeah? That is water like a geyser coming up out of one of the drains. Because of all the force of all that water going into the sewer system, it causes quite a force, and that happened in Minneapolis, and I'm supposed it happened quite a few spots around the Twin Cities today because of that heavy line of showers. That line of storms laid out a boundary, a cool front, actually through the southern part of the state. Now some new scattered showers and storms are building from the northern part of Hennepin County right up through Isani County and again to the southeast of Lake Mille Lacs. But the heaviest activity has definitely been to our south, as well as around Pepin and Eau Claire County. They have a small stream and urban flooding statement there because of some localized flooding. But down to our south is where the real active weather has been, from Steele in through Dodge County. They have a severe thunderstorm warning out for just about a half an hour yet, and that is due to strong winds, some large hail, and very torrential downpours. Also, some very frequent lightning strikes with this activity. Now, it looks like it's going to stay active for quite some time. It's on the boundary between two very different air masses. Look at these temperatures around the state. 88 at Rochester right now at this hour, 80 here in the Twin Cities. Then you go into the cool front. There it is, St. Cloud, still at 69. There's quite a bit of cool air just to our north. But that front, after it waffles southward, is going to waffle back to the north, and that puts us right in that thunderstorm activity again tomorrow afternoon, and a warm and steamy high near 82. The Channel 5 forecast for overnight tonight then has some scattered thunderstorms, most of the heavy activity staying to our south initially, but then gradually working its way northward again. 62 for the low for tomorrow morning, waking up with a little sunshine, and 65. Scattered thunderstorms again develop, though, as that front pushes north up to about 82, and a real warm and steamy day on Sunday. Get ready to feel very muggy. 88 for the high and some more scattered storms. And as we look ahead through the rest of the week, in the middle of the week, scattered storms all the way through Wednesday, and temperatures staying very warm and muggy. And you guessed it, that front will not leave. We can't get rid of the waffling front. I'm kind of like
rubber stamped it right through the end of the week.
I can just 5 days. We'll replay this in a couple days in a row.
All right, thanks.
Thanks. Tonight at 10, we will have complete team coverage on the O.J. Simpson story. We will take you live to Los Angeles for the latest on the manhunt for Simpson. We'll also have live reaction from Buffalo, the site of O.J.'s greatest fame. And you'll hear from local domestic abuse experts on what leads up to potentially dangerous situations and how to protect yourself from it. Join us for this and much more coming up tonight at 10.
And, of course, now, with him being a fugitive, the question on people's minds is not only did he or didn't he, but where is he?
That's right. Next up in sports, a bizarre twist to an already bizarre story, one that left the Los Angeles Police Department fuming. Eric Gustafson has it all when Eyewitness News continues.
As the Northland's largest volume Ford dealer, Towsley has over 300 used vehicles available, and each has been inspected to give you the best possible value and carries our best used vehicle warranty. Not only a large selection of Fords, but Buicks, Chevrolets, Chrysler products, Fords, Cadillacs, imports, Lincolns, Oldsmobiles, Pontiacs, plus a huge inventory of late-model pickups, Explorers, and minivans, 2- and 4-wheel drives. Every used vehicle is pre-discounted, so everyone pays the same low bottom-line price at Towsley Ford, White Bear Lake.
Considering a Toyota Camry LE? Take a few notes, because the Honda Accord LX has a longer wheelbase. And let's see, it's got more headroom. It's got 5 more horsepower. That'll come in handy. And it goes 2 miles farther on every gallon of gas. I knew you'd like that. Most surprising of all, the Accord costs over $1,400 less than the Camry. Now, draw your own conclusions.
At Ritz Camera, America's #1 volume discount camera store, you always get real low prices guaranteed on the world's finest cameras. Like the compact weatherproof Olympus Stylus Zoom with built-in 35-70 autofocus zoom lens. Ritz Blitz priced at just $189.95. Or Minolta's Maxim 3XI with Quad-Array 35-80 zoom lens. An easy-to-use SLR that's also easy on your pocketbook. Only $349.95. With prices like these in over 480 locations nationwide, it's no wonder Ritz is America's favorite camera store.
That's not what you said.
Oh, what did I say?
Hey, he said that he didn't work on his import car because he couldn't find the part.
Right.
Hey, that's no excuse. If you go to Big Wheel Rossi.
Big Wheel Rossi?
Sure, Big Wheel Rossi. Rossi's the import parts store inside every Big Wheel store. They've got the parts.
Who are you talking to anyway?
Hey, the problem isn't parts. The problem, my little brother, is he's just lazy.
No, I am not lazy.
Yes, you are. Mom said you were.
She did not.
Ask for the Quiet of Sound Solution mufflers, just $15.99 now through Saturday.
Mom, I'm not lazy.
We got the parts. Big Wheel Rossi.
So the police department in L.A. ready to arrest O.J. Simpson, and no O.J. Simpson, the surprise of the day.
Very bizarre, and to watch it all unfold the way it did live. Pro football great O.J. Simpson today was charged in connection with the murders of his ex-wife and another man. Simpson was expected to surrender today to police, but instead he is still on the loose at this hour, a fugitive. Police announced the charges against Simpson today at a news conference in Los Angeles. Sunday night, the bodies of Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ronald Goldman were found outside Mrs. Simpson's condominium. They had both been stabbed to death. Police sources say they recovered the military knife used in the murders. Prosecutors deny that. Also, blood found at the scene allegedly matches the same type as O.J. Simpson's. The last time he was seen publicly at his ex-wife's funeral yesterday with his 2 children. For right now, Simpson is still on the loose, and police consider him dangerous, as they would any other person charged with murder.
We need to find him, we need to apprehend him, we need to bring him to justice, and we need to make sure that we find him as quickly as possible.
Mr. Simpson is a fugitive of justice right now. And if you assist him in any way, you are committing a felony.
The charges filed against Simpson included the special circumstance of multiple killings in California. That special circumstance allegation could result in the death penalty if found guilty. On a lighter note, some might call them the old goats of the PGA Tour, but players like Hale Irwin and Jack Nicklaus are playing like young bucks. More on them in a moment, but a golden moment for a golden oldie today as Arnold Palmer walked up the 18th at a U.S. Open. A last time. Arnie didn't make the cut, but received a wonderful farewell ovation. Another golden one was also keeping it interesting today's second round. Jack Nicklaus with a great shot here on 14. Jack is 3 under, 3 strokes back of Colin Montgomery, the leader by 2 over 2, one of whom being this KG veteran Hale Irwin, who's 2 back. Irwin another 69 today, that one for Eagle. Irwin and John Cook are both 4 under. So it's Montgomery, the Scotsman, with a 6 under 65 today. Irwin and Cook, Nicklaus and Jeff Maggart right now. 1 Minnesotan at the Open made the cut, 1 didn't. Tom Lehman shot 68 today. He's 1 over. Amateur John Harris all done at 14 over. The much-anticipated and much ballyhooed World Cup Soccer Tournament kicked off a month of action today on American soil. This is as much a celebration as it is a competition. Look at this, at Soldier Field in Chicago today. I mean, this is fanfare second to none. In the opening match, Germany went up against Bolivia and won 1-0. Germany's Jürgen Klinsmann scored the match's only goal at the 61-minute mark. The U.S. plays Switzerland tomorrow morning at 10:30, a match you can see right here on Channel 5. When the Twins play the Orioles tonight in Baltimore, there will be a pair of 7-game winning streaks on the line. The Twins and Kevin Tapani. Taps takes the mound tonight against Big Ben McDonald. In winning his last 7, Tapani's lowered his ERA by 2 runs. The Twins start the night 1.5 games behind Cleveland in the Central. Back home, the Timberwolves continue their home court scouting of this year's NBA draftees. Today, the Wolves courted UConn big man Danielle Marshall, 6'9", averaging 18 points a game in college here. Today in Minneapolis, he talked about taking the next step.
I think I can bring a lot. I mean, they have a lot of enthusiasm in J.R. Ryder and Christian Leighton and Chuck Hurst, and I think I can bring a little bit more with a lot of scoring. I think I can help free up J.R. Ryder, Doug West, help Christian Leighton out on the boards.
All right, much more as we talked about reiterating our team coverage of OJ at 10 o'clock.
Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Thinking of buying a Sentra, Geo Metro, or Tercel? Think again, because during the Hyundai sales explosion, you can buy a new Excel for just $69.45. That's almost $2,400 less than Tercel. Excel is the #1 rated subcompact and the lowest priced car in America. And right now, you can make no down payment and no monthly payments for 90 days. But at $69.45, sales are way up and Excels are going fast. So come in today. Get the year's best deals during the sales explosion at your nearest Hyundai dealer now.
Mexican cooking, good Mexican, should be playful, a little surprise. So I have this idea, the Santa Fe enchilada. I don't roll it, I stack it. Layers of chicken, cheese, roasted tomato sauce, zesty black bean relish, one on top of the other. So in every bite, you taste it all. Hey, you want to try it? I make you another one.
The Santa Fe enchilada at Chi-Chi's, where the recipes are as fresh as the food.
Gonna take to the streets and spend some time on the road. I need a truck that'll take me where I wanna go. I need a Dodge, Dodge. I'll take a Dakota, it's the top of the line. The first mid-size pickup and it's one of a kind. That's Dodge, from America's Truck Stop Dodge.
Now, get up to $27.22 in discounts from package value on a new Dodge Dakota at America's Truck Stop, your Dodge dealer.
Finally tonight, you may remember the amazing story we brought you last week about Peter Rankin.
He is the 11-year-old boy from Hudson, Wisconsin, who was attending a Twins game last week with his dad when the unbelievable happened. Peter and Ed got not one but two balls that fouled off on consecutive pitches. What are the odds of that, huh? But as if that was not enough, today, Peter's luck struck again. Tim Monson of Minneapolis heard about Peter's story and his passion for baseball, and today, Monson gave the boy a rare 1972 baseball card signed by one of baseball's all-time greatest, Hank Aaron, to add to his collection.
Quite a story.
And a Kirby Puckett baseball the Twins gave him the night of that.
What a week for him.
Yeah.
That's going to wrap up this edition of 6 o'clock news here on Channel 5. We want to remind you we'll have the very latest on the O.J. Simpson story in team coverage tonight at 10.
ABC News also staffing that story. Anything significant happens this evening, you will see it right here on this station. In the meantime, enjoy the evening. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock, earlier if necessary. Bye-bye.
Be a part of the Eyewitness News team. If you see news happening, grab your cellular phone and make a free call to Star TV 5.